Hello and welcome to another lesson with Brain Development Institute. My name is Ebenezer Kobnabuchi, and again I'll be your instructor for this lesson that we're going to go through. We discussed a few things about the way to prepare effectively for an examination in the last video, and in this video make sure that your brain is very fit for what we have ahead of us. Okay, and so one will ask, why do we need to ensure that our brains are very fit? You agree with me that as students, the organ that we use most in our learning comes from our brains. Okay, and so we use less of the other parts of the body when we are learning, and if that part that we are using is going to serve us well, then we must ensure that we are keeping it fit. I always give this analogy that those that engage in the Olympics, they have months and months of exercise and practice to ensure that their body and the muscles that they're going to use to execute whatever they're going to do in the Olympics are very fit. So as students, we likewise have to ensure that our minds are fit. So we're going to look at ways of keeping our minds fit. Now let's look at what we are going to do. It says keeping your brain fit means clearing your head. We have to ensure that our minds are very clear when we are going to learn as students. There are students that have a lot on their minds when they want to learn. I always give this analogy that if you have a tank that's full of water and you want to still fill that tank with water, that wouldn't work. So as students, what we are going to use for our preparation for the exam is our minds and our brains. So if they are full of worries, if they are occupied with things that are around us, then that will leave less room for the things that we need to learn as students. So the very first thing that we need to do is to ensure that our heads are cleared of all the things that are around us. That's number one. Then it says, as a student, it's important that your brain is fit. When your brain is fit, you are maintaining your mental age. I think we've talked about that when I gave you the analogy of a sports athlete that's going to the Olympics. They ensure that they maintain their bodies, it's fit, so that they can have, that's what, the physical age to ensure that they win the medals that they want to. Likewise, students, if you want to ensure that you are fit for examination, then you must ensure that you keep your brains fit. Studying is a win-win situation when your brain is fit, and the fitter your brain is, the better prepared you are to cope with the challenges of the exams that lie ahead of you. So clearing your head means concentrating fully on preparing for your examination. And so everything that from here on you're going to do is to ensure that you are fully concentrating on the examination. And so here, what I do is that I ask the parents of students, if you are a child, that your parents give you the opportunity to ensure that your mind is fully concentrated on your examination. If you are adult and also you are preparing for examination, if you are working, I ask that you take some time off so that your mind is fully concentrated on the examination that you are preparing, so that you not just clear your head, but you can think positively about passing your examination, becoming your best, instead of thinking about other things that may take your mind away from your learning. And at the same time, that will help you to remember the things that you are learning. Well, having a positive mental state of mind, that's one thing for students. It creates that confidence and energy that a student needs to pass examinations with a difference. So I will urge that as a student, you ensure that you are fully concentrated on what you're about to do, so that you give up your best. So what do? We now have to, sometimes because of these things are not normal to us as students, we have to retrain our brains so that we get into the mode of examinations. And so how do we do this? One of the chiefest ways that psychologists have found is that if you use affirmations, it helps you to retrain your brain to do the things that you want to do. Also, it's been found that it can stop you from negative thinking, and it will also help you to take control of your emotions, so that in any situation that you are in, you can function and give off your best in that situation. I have this picture that I use to illustrate my point. There's a famous saying that a healthy mind is always found in a healthy body. And so I have put these two together, saying that if we want to pass and our lives be happy, then we need to have both of them, a healthy mind and a healthy body. Okay. So now let's look at affirmations. And so for these, I've given you a few affirmations in this activity number 1. But before we go to the activities, do what? They motivate, they inspire, they encourage us to take action and to realize our goals. So if you don't know what they are, these are things that you say to yourselves, okay, as a person. And what do? You continuously say good things to yourself as a person. Then what will happen is that it will motivate you, it will inspire you, it will encourage you to take action and to realize the goals that you have in mind. In the Bible, if you are a Christian, it said that as a man thinketh, so is he. So if what you think makes you who you are, then as students, we are going to look at things that we can think so that it becomes part of us. Okay. Now, what are some of the things that we can take? Number 1 in our activity says, I am ready to pass my examination successfully with. Here, I would like you to pause, and you as a student, you write what you want to pass your examination successful with. But let me give you a few examples. If I'm in JHS 3 and I'm going to write my examination, then this is what I will say. I'm ready to pass my examination successfully with 9 ones for all the subjects that I write. That will be my example for if I'm in JHS. If I'm in SHS, that's what I'm also going to say. I'm ready to pass my examination successfully with 8 A's. If you are not in JHS or in SHS and you are in the university, then you can say, I'm ready to pass my examination successfully. So you can say that as well. Now, let's go down and look at a few examples here. It says, I am the best student with all A's. You can replace the A's with 1s or whatever you wish to replace that with in all my subjects. Or, I am a winner. I am happy I passed my examination successfully. So these are 2 examples that we have given you. So fill in this part of the exercise and say the above every day with a smile. And I can tell you that as the Bible says, as a man thinketh, so is he. If you're thinking of passing your examination successfully with 9 ones and you put in the work, then it will motivate you, it will inspire you and encourage you to take the right actions that will help you to realize your goals. So pause the video for a while and write these affirmations down, as they are going to make a lot of difference in your learning. Now let's look at this. There's another scenario when a student is preparing for examination, but instead of being fully motivated, inspired and encouraged to take actions, what happens is that they are gripped by fear. It says, the fear of being tested, poor study skills and lack of examination techniques are generally the causes of exams failure. So these 3 things are identified as the causes of what? Of failure. If you have poor study skills, if you lack the techniques that you need in the examination room, and again you are fearful, then you are going to fail. So as the course is saying, we need to prepare. That means we're going to look at skills that will take away fear, skills that will help you to do away with poor studying skills, then also have the right examination techniques. So that with these 3 being conquered, you are very confident that you are going to come out really, really successful in your examination. So let's look at some of these things as we go along. For fear, I think we have now looked at the first affirmation that tells you about the things that you need to do. Fear is a state of mind. As I said earlier, as a man thinketh, so is he. The so is he tells you about the state that you're being in. And so if you are thinking fearful thoughts, then you're going to be in a state of being fearful. And we want you to avoid that. So how do we avoid fear? Is to start thinking about the thing that has nothing to do with fear. I don't want you to be like the dog in this picture. Be in bed early in the morning with a towel around your head or your blanket around your head, not fully preparing and only thinking of fearful thoughts. There is also one thing that has been realized: fear freezes you. It doesn't release you to be happy, to do the things that will carry you forward. So this is what we should avoid. The picture that we are seeing here, being fearful. We don't want to be like this dog that has frozen in bed. Okay, but start with the affirmations and overcome fear. Now let's look at the activity number 2 with affirmations. It says, I'll give you for example, it says, I'm ready to write all examinations given me. Now you see, if you are ready to write all examination given you, then you've already conquered the fear of writing examinations. So that's really good. And the next one says, I am having the best study skills. As a man thinketh, so you see. So if you think you have the best examination skills, then surely the ways to go about learning will come to you. Then I am having all the skills to pass my examination successfully. Good as well. If you think this thought, then that will also come to you. And the 4th affirmation says, I am the best student and I have passed all my examination with A's. Okay, and so if you think you are the best student, you're going to be the best student, and you pass all the examinations with A's or with 1s or with whatever grades that you're looking forward to. My encouragement is that you should repeat the above affirmations every day and add yours. Maybe you have other challenges that you might think of. My take is that sit down and turn this fear, these challenges into affirmations that you can say to yourself every day, so that you feel motivated again, you feel inspired, and you feel encouraged to take action. Then what will happen is that you're going to realize your goal. So what have we done here? We have looked at having a positive mental mindset towards passing your examination, which is the key to passing your examination. If the engine in the car is not working right, the car is not going to move. And so what we have looked at is to make sure that the engine for your examination, which is the brain, is kept fit and ready to take any challenges that's given. And the challenges are to prepare and to execute the things that you're going to do during the examination, and to pass successfully. And so let's now look at activity number 3, again with the affirmations. And so now that you've looked at activity number 1 and activity number 2 that were above that we just learned, I want you to create your own affirmations that will make you happy that you have passed your exam. So I have a few places here. So here you can pause the video again and write your own affirmations. Affirmations that will motivate you, that will inspire you, and that will encourage you to take action to realize your goals. So pause the video, take about 5 to 10 minutes. Think about what will really make you happy at the end of the examination, and when you are moving ahead to JHS. What grades do you need to go to the school that you want, and what grades do you need to realize the careers that you have in mind? So pause the video and do this. Thank you again for coming with us in this lesson. Again, I'll say, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, go down below and subscribe, and click also on the notification button, so every video that we make, you'll be notified of those videos, so that you can come with us and learn as well. I will also urge you as a student that now that you are learning these techniques for free, tell other students, not just the students in your schools, but students in other schools, and let them come on board, subscribe, and also start learning the skills that can help them to have all the grades that they want to have. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next lesson.